early 90s, Dad wanted to get certified. Of course, us sharpeners do not have to be certified to sharpen shears. He wanted to go see about a certification at the NSSG, which is no longer in existence, no longer in service, out of order, all that good stuff. Anyway, he went and got certified. Got certified several times in a row, and they saw that he had a passion for what he was doing, and he became part of the staff helping the NBTSG or NSSG for several years, up to 2008 was our first year. In about 2008, 2007, along in there, the NBTSG or the NSSG, I'm sorry, was getting basically just getting stale. There was the same old show every year, nothing new. The organizers of the event weren't wanting to change things up, and Dad fought with them a lot, saying we need to do this. And anyway, so in 2009, Dad and myself, Mom and family deal, just like Gene and Bonnie, Misty, started the NBTSG, which Bonnie hates the name.
And Larry named it. Nobody could talk him out of it.
It's a mouthful. So. National Beauty Tool Sharpeners Guild. The reason we put that, and that's what it is now, is we had thought someday about also, we do scissors, which is a beauty tool. We certify on clipper blades, which is also a beauty tool. And we'd also thought about certifying on nippers possibly someday. And it still could be in the future if we find the right person and the right people to take care of it. But that's also a beauty tool. So that's how we came about. And with the intent of sharing the knowledge, of making the industry professional, more professional, and just changing the whole outlook, bringing new vendors in, try to bring new speakers in. Over the years we've done different things, and Bonnie and Gene are great at marketing that. Bonnie's got some good ideas. So last year, my dad retired. Everybody knows my dad, probably Larry Brooks. He retired. I knew it was going to be too much that I could handle, wouldn't be able to handle it right. And that's whenever Bonnie and Gene are now the ones that run the National Beauty Tool Sharpeners. That's how it was founded, right there. And I like the thing that you put on Facebook. It's the oldest.
Yeah, it's the oldest guild.
Oldest organization
for certification in existence.
Still in existence.
Yep, still in existence. I have never heard of a scissor certification in any other country to get certified. I know the people.
And what was nice about last year when Bonnie won it, came in first, she's the best in the country because they didn't have the other ones.
That's right.
That was the best that year.
That's right.
But Jesse and I started talking on the phone, and Jesse was over in Iraq. And I guess you had a little extra time on your hands, and he had organized. He can tell a little bit about that. He had organized a nonprofit with the firefighters, or it was
the fire department.
Fire department, and he started talking to me about it. And I was thinking, this is a way. I enjoy, what I do, but I saw what happened to NSSG. If something, we're a family business too. If something happened to us, where would the NBTSG go? That was one of my concerns. Number two, the complaint that I'm seeing from on SharpNet and a lot of other sharpening organizations is, that's Bonnie's show, or this is, this person's show or that person's show. And I felt like if it's a guild, it needs to be more belong to the sharpeners. And it's different than our jam. This is our show. I want that to be something that other manufacturers of shears and sharpening equipment can feel comfortable, like they're not
stepping into our backyard.
Yeah. And so I got to talking to Jesse. I never even thought about doing a nonprofit, but I got to thinking about it, and it sounded like a good way to go. And then also, it's going to spread out some of the responsibility and work on us. Plus, hopefully I'll get better feedback from you. It's hard to get feedback from sharpeners. I send out these surveys. What movie do we want to go to see Sunday night? And I get, 2 people, I think, emailed me back. And so this might be a way of having committees, and that we can share some of the responsibility and also get something that reflects what you really want as sharpeners. I mean, am I on the right track here? I mean, tell me.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Because Jean and Misty thought I was a little crazy when I started talking about this. But, I assured Misty that she's still going to get paid for her work.
She does most of the work on these things because she has to answer the phone and do the coordination and all that kind of stuff. And then I do most of the hauling.
Yeah, I mean, it's, there.
And Bonnie does a lot of the teaching. So.
But there's also, by being nonprofit, for instance, the movie we're going to go see tomorrow night, we could have got in there like $6 cheaper if we were a nonprofit organization. And it may be there's hotels and other venues and things we can do that we can get in cheaper as a nonprofit group too.
My name's Jesse Hockett, and my wife and I started our business going on 6 years ago. And one of the first places that we went to learn things was the Bonika Jam. It was close enough. They were active on the web, and when I called, they were very friendly. So this was our first experience in getting into the sharpening industry and rubbing elbows with people. And I enjoyed it. I'm not a people person, but I felt comfortable and I enjoyed the experience. So when I heard about the NBTSG, I think 2010 was our first experience with it, and we heard about it at the first jam we went to. And with Bonnie and them recommending it, we went ahead and we took the time and made the expense to go to the NBTSG up in St. Louis. And again, and at that time it was being put on by Larry and his family, and it was a very eye-opening experience. The wealth of knowledge that was openly shared, I really appreciated, because you don't find that in a lot of industries, especially something like this. There's a lot of trade secrets, and people feel that everybody's a competitor, and there's a lot of reasons for it. So I was very impressed by the NBTSG, to the point where a couple of years later we decided we was going to certify. So we certified last year when we went, and that happened to be the first year that Bonnie and Jean had taken over when Larry retired. And the show was still fantastic. But I remember during that one that Bonnie and Jean were asking for a lot of feedback on where to take it for the future. They wanted it to be separate from the jam. They wanted a lot more input from sharpeners to make sure that it was an event that all sharpeners could feel welcome with, and have lots of different varieties of equipment, different speakers, different vendors, and be open to everybody to be welcome to come. So like Bonnie said, I had a lot of time to think of it while I was overseas, and I enjoyed the experience. So I spent some time on her, and I called Bonnie and we had some conversations. And at the same time, there was a lot of things going on with the NSSG. And I know one of the concerns that Bonnie had was she didn't want the NBTSG to go the same direction. And after what happened with the NSSG, that's a very valid concern. So I'm a member of volunteer fire department back home, and my first experience with dealing with nonprofits was with that, and how the department has its own members, and it manages itself, and it has its committees, and how the members manage the department, and where the department goes and how the department operates. And I thought that may be a very good template for the NBTSG, to have the guild members help actually manage it and participate in it, and take some of the workload off the families that have been running it for since its inception. It's a huge amount of work to put an event like this and that on, and being small business owners, you don't make money off of nonprofit things, I'll tell you that. But it takes a lot of manpower and a lot of time. And being small business owners, you try and leverage your time the best way you can, and still, take care of your responsibilities, and find time for your passions. And the NBTSG is a passion of the Brooks family and the McGowan family, which limits what you can do. And so I got to thinking and talking with Bonnie, And I thought I heard what she was trying to say, and this is kind of what we put together as a possibility of getting more input from the guild members, and taking the guild forward in the future to be an actual nationally recognized nonprofit trade organization that could be very influential to the profession of sharpeners as well as our customers. There's just a basic difference between mission and vision. We'll start with the mission statement. That's a draft. All of this is draft. I just wanted to put something on paper so that somebody would have a reference point. Okay, so don't think this is in stone. This is simply a starting point. It's very long, I know, but it's very important. The mission statement is what you do as an organization, what it is that the organization does. And so this is what I kind of put together based on just my experiences with it and what Bonnie had said she wanted the organization to do.
When we go to the vision statement?
I don't read slides, because that's just the biggest no-no you can do when you do a presentation. Everybody can read. So to read the slides is pointless to have a presentation. So that's why I'm not reading the slides.
And I'm going to probably put all of this,
Yeah.
I'll be putting all this on the internet if somebody wants to read this in detail, and then I'm going to put a YouTube too on our website. So anybody that's not here that wants to hear this, but the vision statement is where
The vision statement is the where you want to go. It's the excitement with the organization. It's the passion. It's the underlying thing that drives the people, why you do the mission that you're doing, what you're aiming for. They are similar, but they should read different. The vision statement should be what you read to go, yeah, that's what I want to volunteer my time for. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to be a part of. And the mission is what we do to achieve that vision. They're, like I said, they're very similar, but they are distinct and different.
Right.
And those are some of the very first things you should at least identify drafts and something to work off of. Because all of your other documentation on how you set up and structure an organization is based on those. The path forward is where some important things, the maintaining the original intent, that goes to the heart of it. And one of Bonnie's concerns was she doesn't want anybody to ever think that this is a Bonika show, the NBTSG.
And I don't want anyone to think. I don't want any. And also I want to protect this group from being taken over by some strong personality or someone that is sort of dominates it, and where maybe all the people that are certifying have one type of equipment. I would like to see, like the last time we had, several different machines, and so. That's one of the things I'm very aware of, so I don't want to lose the control of it, but at the same time I want to have it out there. Does that make sense?
You need to be able to guide it and influence it in the direction that the founder and most of the current members believe it should go in, but you also don't want there to be a possibility that in 10 years somebody else with ulterior motives could influence it in a bad way.
Yeah. So, see, that's what on the committee for that, and we need to move on. But that for the people, for the committee to choose locations, we need to have people to think about that. Because Gene and I were just thinking, we like Memphis barbecue, and that's it's a one-day drive.
That's a good reason.
It's a one-day drive from most places we choose is by food. It's a one-day drive for most. I think it's like 3/4 of the United States. Geographically, not population-wise, but it's a one-day drive, and that's what we were looking at.
And like the Bonnie said, that's a very good reason why we wanted to move in this direction, because it would give legitimate concerns a place to be voiced and figured out, and to let people who would like to voice that type of information and give it to a forum so we can work all these out, and it's not just a couple of people making decisions for the entire organization.
Yeah.
It's a lot of different people having the opportunity to provide input so that we can think of things like airfare or other things like that.